guys, this is your tita in China, and today we're back with a new skincare video. Today is the last day for Retinoids month, and we're going to talk about tips and little tricks that I can give you to deal with common retinoid issues. But before we move on, as usual, if you're new here, welcome. Happy to have you on board. My name is Emmeline, and I am your tita in China. I have skincare related videos and China related videos, so if you are interested in any of that, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell that you will know the next time I will upload a new video. This is the fourth video of a series on retinoids, and the playlist is here. If you haven't watched the 3 before this, please go ahead and watch that first and then come back here. Retinoids are not to be trifled with, okay? They are a great skincare ingredient. They're probably one of the best value for money things that you can add into your skincare routine, but they need time. You need to be patient when it comes to retinoids. Let's be honest, you know, not all of us can really have patience all of the time. So we end up with some problems, some issues with retinoids, which we're going to talk about today. Actually, now that I think about it, even if you are very patient with your retinoid use, some of these things can still happen, and some of these tips are still worth bearing in mind. So let's start with the first one. Number 1, during your retinization phase, which is the time that your skin is getting used to the retinoids, redness, irritation, peeling, itching, and flaking is quite common. And this could be in the places that are most sensitive on your face. It could be in the apples of your cheeks, it can be the nose, it can be the side of your mouth, it can also be your jawline, or it can be all of those parts. This is the most common problem with retinoid use, and usually it's because you have used too much of the product. So really the first thing that you need to do if you're experiencing this, as long as it's not too much, but if you're experiencing this, cut down the amount of retinoids that you use. So if you're using 1 pea size amount, cut that into half. If you're using 1/2 pea size amount, cut that into 1/4. So yes, that's a very tiny amount, I know, but retinoids are potent, and it can work even at that amount. Use more moisturizer to help that bit of retinoid really go a long way, because spreading it evenly is key. Sometimes we are getting more irritation on one side of our face, and that's because we probably used more on that side than the other. So spreading evenly is really important when you're using a retinoid. If you're already using just a very small amount and you are still getting the irritation, then dial down on the frequency. If you're using it once a week and you're only using 1/4 pea size amount and you're still getting irritation, then make it every 2 weeks. For example, if you're already up to, say, 4 times a week, 3 times a week, and you start getting the irritation, dial it back down to maybe 3 or 2 times a week only. Remember, there's no rush with retinoids. Just take your time, listen to your skin. If it's getting a little bit too uncomfortable or irritated, dial back. You are not hindering your progress by dialing back. You are just making sure that you are able to go on using the retinoids without suffering the dreaded retinol burn. Also, if you're like me, once you see that little bits of skin sort of flaking off, there is this desire to rub it or sort of pick it off. Don't do that. There is also this desire to get a small hand towel or like a brush or a Foreo and just going at it at all the dead skin that's starting to flake off. Don't do it. Don't do it. Trust me. Your skin is already irritated. That's the reason why it's flaking. So do not add to the irritation by rubbing it or by picking at it or by scrubbing it. The key really here is to add more moisturizer. The skin that's going to naturally slough off from your face is going to do so in the shower without the need for you to brush it off or scrub it off. Please really just control yourself. Huwag nyo kuskusin face ninyo even if it's just with your hands. And that's very difficult because when you sort of wash your face, you can feel like that rough, flaky skin, and you know there's a tendency to sort of rub it. Just really mentally prepare yourself and change the mindset. I don't know what you have to do. Don't rub your face when it's flaking from a retinoid. Add more moisturizing products like serums or moisturizers, because that will really help remove the dead skin cells the next time you wash or the next time you shower. Second, if you do get the retinol burn, stop using the retinoid. Don't use any more retinoids. Even if it's the milder versions, don't use anything. Let your skin recover, let your skin heal. At this point, your skin barrier is very impaired. So there's going to be a lot of transepidermal water loss. There will be a lot of dryness. So make sure that you're going to use a thicker, heavier moisturizer. So to help your skin recover and heal, there are ceramide creams which help with transepidermal water loss as well as petroleum jelly. But to soothe and calm irritation, you have colloidal oats. So as usual, you have seen me recommend this before, and it is the Aveeno eczema therapy. But also CeraVe, Cetaphil is good, Aven is good if you can find it. And of course, the cheapest one is petroleum jelly. There's nothing wrong with that. Tip number 3 is sunscreen use. And this can be any kind of sunscreen. It can be a physical sunscreen, it can be a mineral sunscreen, it can be a chemical sunscreen. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that it's a sunscreen that you can comfortably reapply, because this is not the time for you to be slacking off with your sunscreen, okay? As I've said in my previous video, you can also help your sunscreen along by using a UV hat, sunglasses, and other UV protective clothing, and even sun visors. The reason really is because you want to protect the baby skin that is emerging, that is getting pushed out by the tretinoin, because we work so hard to renew our skin, to rejuvenate our skin. So why would we go on and damage that baby skin again? Don't damage it. And we do that by making sure that we apply and reapply the proper dosage of sunscreen. We also make sure that we have a hat on, especially if we go out during the peak UV times like noon, you know, for lunch, for example. So make sure we take these kinds of precautions. Also, to stay in the shade or to stay indoors as much as possible when the sun is up or when the sun is at its peak. I mean, you know, it's okay if you want to go for lunch, or if it's like a 15-minute coffee break, you wear a hat and top up on a sunscreen. If you're planning a hike on a sunny day, probably not going to be advisable, especially in the first 12 weeks of retinoid use. Tip number 4, don't worry about the purge. The purge is not something that you should be scared of. You should be locking your eyes on the prize, because that really is what's going to make everything worth it. If you are an acne sufferer, just know that the purge that you are going through is probably going to be the same as your usual breakout, and you just take care of it as you usually would. And that means you use a salicylic acid treatment on those spots, and only during the nights when you are not using the retinoids. If you can also get them professionally extracted. But make sure that, you know, when you go there, you refuse the other procedures, like all of these other, like a diamond peel, for example. Refuse those services and just go there for the extraction, because really you don't need anything else at this point. Your skin is already normalizing. So all you need to do is to make sure that it's safe, nothing gets infected at the time that it is normalizing itself, and your acne will heal faster, it will heal cleaner, and it's going to be less scarring for you. Don't let the purge stop you from reaping the benefits of retinoids. It really is worth it. Tip number 5. Be patient. Okay, I know that you're getting impatient. You're getting impatient with your simple skincare routine. You're getting impatient with the results. You're getting impatient with all of this irritation that you're getting. But nothing good is ever easy. I have no suggestions. I have nothing to say for impatience. I've been where you are. I know what it can be like. So let me just offer this bit of encouragement and also real talk. If you're impatient, you're only holding back your own progress. Because if you're being impatient and you rub your skin and flake off your skin, if you use exfoliating acids too soon and you get a retinol burn or you get really bad irritation, you're only holding your progress back. Really, the only way somehow is for you to like change the mindset, and I hope that's going to help you be a little bit patient. But I don't really blame you if you're impatient. We are fed on a diet of instant everything. You know, things that are getting marketed as erase your wrinkles in 7 days, or remove your pores in a single use, or lose acne for life in just 30 days. Stuff like that. They don't work. Skin takes time. The turnover, even for, you know, people in their 20s and 30s, can be 4 to 6 weeks. How can you see changes in just 30 days? How can you erase many years that produced wrinkles and many years of acne in in just 7 days. But it's up to you to tell yourself that these are all lies. They're all BS. The fact of the matter is skin takes time. It takes time for your skin to renew itself. It takes time for products to work. Especially if they're working in the deeper parts of your skin and actually changing and normalizing your skin. Things like Aztec healing clay, volcanic clay, and stuff like that, these are all just temporary fixes. And it gives you instant gratification, but it also makes you buy and buy and buy because it doesn't actually improve your skin over time, just improves your skin for a short time. And you need to repurchase the product over and over again to get the same result. This is just the difference between what quick fixes do and what things like retinoids do. Quick fixes are money-making machines because they get you to buy and buy and buy. But retinoids are real solutions, and it will take time, but at the end of the day, you will come out with stronger and more resilient skin, and that really is what we want. So that's it for today, guys. I hope that you like this video. This is the last of the retinoid series, and I really hope that I was able to get some quality information out there. If you found this helpful or informative, please give me a thumbs up and share this to your friends who are also skincare buffs. And if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, violent reactions, as usual, comment section is there for you, and I hope we can have a conversation. Thank you for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye!